that shit happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right there in Lincoln Center. I don't know. Did I take you to Lincoln Center when we went down there?
Yeah, we went to Lincoln Center. We drove around. It was like right there by that Walmart, right?
Yeah.
So we drove
down the street from the Walmart.
Yeah, we drove to Lincoln, like through Lincoln Center.
Yeah, that shit happened in Lincoln Center. Then the crazy thing about it, we had moved into the apartment after that. Me and my mama.
Oh, that is crazy.
That's hella crazy.
So you lived in the projects with your mama, and then then your mom moved into the projects?
Yeah, I lived in there with my grandma. We all lived with my grandma at first, and then my
mama got an
apartment
in the
projects.
projects.
Same project, yeah. And then the crazy thing, all my aunties and them got a same apartment in the same project. Yeah.
That's I forgot what I was watching, but I think it was that R. Kelly, surviving R. Kelly, and his brothers were talking about how their whole family lived in the projects.
Same project. That shit is fucking crazy. Generations.
Generations of project living.
Yeah, that's what going on in Hermitage. The kids will be raised in the projects, and if they don't feel like they can do better and they want to do better, all they do is go get a little job and they'll stay in the projects. They'll go get their own apartment and feel good about that.
What do you think? Okay, so projects, affordable housing, but what do you think? What do you think keeps people stuck in the projects?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's really the way you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you could be like, I'm cool with that shit. Or you can be like, man, you know what? I'm not ever going to live back in this motherfucker. And if you have that motivation, you're not going to live back in that motherfucker. You feel me? Like, there ain't no way that Keyshawn Ford will ever get a motherfucking apartment in Lincoln Center. I would fucking be homeless with a cart before I go get an apartment back in Lincoln Center. Yeah,
you're right, because I'm sure everybody knows about like Nickerson Gardens or in the projects in South Central. And what's the other one I was on? Don't Be a Menace. But it was another the Jordan Down projects in LA. But I was watching a documentary on YouTube, and it was about Nickerson Garden projects. But I think in California, LA in particular, people in the projects, they got the flyest cars. Weave down to their motherfucking ankles, hair done, nails done, everything did, bundles, lashes, jewelry, and they just content with living in the projects. But you live in the projects, though.
That shit crazy. It's a mind thing, man.
It is definitely a mindset. I think that's with anything. That's with anything. But, definitely living in the projects. It's your mindset.
That's it. I mean, it was cool in the projects as a kid, though, because I always had other kids to play with. You know what I'm saying? So,
when was the moment that you realized, fuck, I live in the projects?
To be honest with y'all, man, I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel bad. The first time I ever felt bad about living in the projects is when I came to school and they were making fun of us because our bus, and everybody knew the dinosaur bus went to the projects. Yeah, that was the first time I ever. Because other than that, I didn't even care. I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody, pointed it out to me. Yeah, I live in a project, and they lived in the house. Yeah, and I wanted to live in the house. That's how that shit happened. Then I wanted to live in the house. Nigga, fucking, kill me. I live in a project.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up in a house for the most part in California, but shout out to Section 8 housing. Because that was the only way we would have been able to afford a house in California. California real estate is, pricey. But, we lived in houses,
That shit crazy.
So how do you think, what would you say how your childhood has impacted you today?
I mean,
what do you take? What does that little boy in the projects take with him everywhere he go today?
To be honest with you, I really take the love that I got from the community. You know what I'm saying? Because I really got a lot of love from the community and the projects growing up. And I still do. You know what I'm saying? These same people, if I talk to them today, these same people love me. They'll tell you, they'll tell me I love you, kid, Tuki. And then, when I go home, they all want to see me.
That's dope.
Yeah, I mean, they're my people. I was even thinking that shit crazy. If it was some reason down there, I would go back to be a like a city politician or something, like I win, cause like I got a lot of people like I know there that vote for me, that fuck with me, cause they know me, they know how I am, and I always been the same. Like I just grew up and got older, you know what I'm saying, and became a man, but you know what I'm saying, like I've been like the same person, you know, I've been happy, positive. If I can help you, I'm gonna help you, and that's it.
That's dope. I think for me, like what I take away from my childhood, because even though I grew up with both my parents, and my parents split up when I was 11, and it was a volatile relationship that they had, like it was like a relief when they split up. But I was a daddy's girl. Like my dad just poured so much love and attention into me, and I'm so grateful for that, because I knew, like, he was really my first love as a kid. Like, truly, your daughter, you know, your daddy is your first love if, you know, he's really in your life like that. But on the other hand, you know, this is my truth. Like, I realized that I grew up with a mom who didn't receive a lot of love and affection from her mom or her dad, so she really didn't know how to give it to us, and she really didn't learn how to love herself. Gotcha. So I think that, like, I didn't grow up with like affirmations from my mom, like telling me like, you're beautiful, you're great, you sweet, you was kind, you was important. Like I didn't get none of that. It was just kind of like she was trying to survive and like make sure she raised us, and we had clothes and we had food on the table. And I really didn't grow up with, you know, that positive reinforcement. And I think with that, when my parents split up, I really went into like a really like dark place, because I felt like my savior, like my best friend, like moved out of the house. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? Like, survive? Right. So, but I learned to become more self-sufficient when he moved out, even though my dad was still in my life. When he moved out, and I learned that you can't rely on other people to affirm you. Like, you have to affirm yourself. Like, you have to be sure of yourself. Like, yes, your mom, you know, she's struggling with her own self-esteem, but you still have to get yours up. Like, you can't go out here in the world like not feeling that you're greatest. So regardless of how you look, how you feel, you got to go out there with your head high. So I really like developed like this strong sense of self at a young age. So
no, that's what you have to, because like if you don't know yourself, you'll let somebody else devalue you. So you gotta know yourself. You gotta know your value. So when it ain't right, you can walk away. You ain't gotta participate in bullshit. You know?
Like even now, like it just pours over. Like I don't care about a compliment. I don't care about a good job. I'm okay with me. You know, God is okay with me. I'm good with me. We good with me, and we getting on. So, and it may come off like a certain kind of way, but I think that's where you have to be. I was talking to a young lady, and she was telling me that she kind of dealt with the same thing, but she wanted that. Like, she yearned to receive like compliments and, you know, data boys and, you know, like really like high fives and all that shit. And I had to tell her, like, if you gonna wait to be great, if you gonna wait on that to be great, like, you're gonna be waiting on your whole fucking life. Like, you better tell yourself you the shit and keep it fucking moving.
Yup.
So,
you got to. Because, you know, motherfuckers
because people will tear you down. You're never as good as they say that you are, and you're never as bad as they say that you are. So you have to be okay with you.
Right.
Period. Poo.
No, you're right. Totally right.
So.
Totally right. Because some people ain't gonna keep it real. They ain't keeping it real with themselves.
What are there's some negative things that have happened in your childhood that, you know, that you kind of, as you grow and you become the man that you are, the person that you are today, like, damn, like, I didn't know that really affected me like that. Like, that's crazy.
I think like really like not having that guidance and that support like that father. I think that affected me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if I'd have had that father, you know what I'm saying, I could have figured out some stuff that I didn't have to figure out on my own. It could have just been like explained to me, or you know what I'm saying, or like instructed to me. You know what I'm saying, so I would have knew. Yeah, because like I was a man having to figure out stuff. Like I ain't finna go up and just be like, you know what I'm saying, just ask a random person some shit. Like,
right.
I really had to figure out
but you had a
own.
village, though. Like, you still had your cousins that were older. But I know there's nothing like that father. Like, I think, you do look for that, that my dad, you know?
Yeah, because I feel like with your dad, like, you can be, like, see, I can tell my cousin certain stuff, you know what I'm saying? But with my dad, like, I feel like you can tell your dad everything because, like, you really came from them. You know what I'm saying? So I can tell them more.
You would think, but that's not, even if, you did have your dad in your life. Like, who's to say that will be the case?
No, you're right.
Some people grow up with both parents, and maybe you can't tell your parents everything because they're going to judge you, or they're going to feel some type of way, or, disown you for certain decisions that you're making and, hold shit against you.
No, you're right. That's totally possible, too. That's totally possible. Like, even my, one of my family members, he told me, like, he got an issue talking to his dad. You know what I'm saying? He let his older brother do it. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't ready to do that.
We got to understand, like, this is what I came to realize when I came to peace with, like, my childhood and, like, the shit that I've been through. Like, our parents are dealing with their own fucking trauma. Their own childhood trauma, their own baggage, their own insecurities, their own fuck-ups, and then you have these beings that come from you, and then you're supposed to figure out how to be a mom or a dad without inflicting your bullshit on them. But of course you're going to inflict your bullshit on them because they're a part of you and you haven't dealt with your bullshit. So here we go, this ongoing cycle of psychosis.
No, you're right. You're right. You're totally right.
So I just learned, like, the shit that my mama and my daddy did, like, they did the best that they fucking could. But today, if you do even them, like, if they do some bullshit to me, not my daddy, because he's just, like, he's just perfect.
Mike Pete.
But if my mom does something to me, like, I'm going to tell her in a respectful way, like, what she's doing, and that it's hurtful and it's damaging. So I would think as two adults, like two black women, we can respect each other to, have an open discussion and try to make those strides not to make the same mistakes. But once again, you're dealing with people. These are people first, human beings first, that are not dealt with their own bullshit. And here we go with the bullshit. So sometimes you gotta, like, in my case, congregation, like, I've had to, like, I love my parents. I love my mom. I love my daddy equally, but differently. But, you gotta sometimes, like, treat your parents or the people that's supposed to be close to you, you gotta feed them with a long handle spoon.
A long handle?
To protect your own peace and your own energy at all costs.
No, you're right. You being the extra 100 with that one. So, totally right. Totally right.
I'm
still get my space.
Please give me my space.
Okay.
I don't know if there's some negative things that I've dealt with. I'm sure there are, but to pinpoint one negative thing that I've dealt with, that is I wouldn't say it's one thing. I would say just being raised by a woman that wasn't really affectionate. So I think you, babe, like, you kind of showed me, like, affection, like, how to be affectionate. And we still had this conversation about, like, be soft, be that. But I think a part of me, like, is never going to leave because I don't know, like, I like structure in a certain way. I like to get shit done. But I do, sit down and be like, okay, I can be a little bit softer. I can say that a little bit more. You know,